Collective. I am back again. I have been energetically and physically just going through a lot of motions, a lot of changes, and I guess the main one was I was getting these electric impulses throughout the body, starting from the solar plexus, and they were just intense. And I was trying to figure out what was going on, and it was brain impulses, and it was just like getting an electric charge, but it was like a re-energizing, re-synergizing with the universe. It was intense but pleasant, very pleasant. And yeah, that's been basically the gist of it. I've been working on like third-party contracts and direct contracts and what have you. It's like I just been working, and for anybody who knows me, I'm a workaholic, which I'm still trying to break myself free from. Like, I'm resting but in motion at the same time. It's like, it's almost like a centrifugal force, and as far as like energetically, in my energetic field and physically, if it makes sense for that to happen. I mean, of course there's centrifugal force, right? So that's where I am right now. And I've been, there's just been so many, as always, so many different thoughts, variations, variables, and downloads, uploads, all kinds of stuff, because downloads are coming from the Ethernets or the ethers, and to the computer motherboard, and uploads are from the motherboard to file of some sort, right? So I've been trying to sort out my own systems over here, as far as like what's going on in my head, what's going on with my body. It's like it feels like I'm not working out anywhere near as often as I used to, because I've been working, right? And in the same breath, it's like I haven't lost my endurance, my stamina. I haven't lost like as much as that. Like, they have these charts that say you lose about 8% of your strength, right, as you get to certain age groups. I'm nowhere near that. Like, from when I was early 30s to mid 30s to almost 40. In my 20s, I really haven't lost that. If anything, I have maintained, if not gotten stronger. And it's strange, because that's what I hear a lot about. But a lot of it is due to maintenance. A lot of it is due to how your lifestyle changes as you get older, in different phases of your life, and you achieve different types of pinnacles. Go through all these dark nights of souls and everything like that. Is some people, it just has adverse effects. For me, from what I can see, it's just improving me all the way down to the 3D, physically. Like, I'm not, like, even though I've been like pretty dormant on the workouts and everything like that, I would like to get back into training, taking my time on that, because I do have a back injury that I'm real tedious about. And I tried to go back and do like some jiu-jitsu, and it was just like I was just so concerned about moving the wrong way and further injuring my back. And let me tell you, I mean, it's been, since I've been resting, it's been rapid. I finished a workout this morning, Jacob's Ladder, 30 minutes. It's a beautiful thing, low impact. Started to go swimming, but I was like, let me get out in nature. Let me get out and, see some hillsides and some lakes and stuff like that. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just driving around until I have to go to work later on this evening. And it's like I've been in like this serene state and just been like chilling. I haven't been to Santa Cruz, as there's like, I don't know if there's still weather storms going down in Santa Cruz yet, but it is what it is. I kind of detected it coming. Now, another thing I realized, it was foggy, like extremely foggy, for maybe a week or so, week and a half at most, and I was experiencing electrical impulses to the body. When the sun came back out, it was like electrical impulses to the mind, and I was getting these surges like through the body, and it would just go like all the way from solar plexus out to my limbs, and just freaking everywhere. And it was like it was just, for some wild experiences, and then I noticed pains that that were kind of, like indicative of like stagnancy. And and then I went back to working out, and that intensified that much more when I went to go do weights like last week or something like that, and that intensified the impulses even more. While I was also rigid, from not working out as much as I did. That's probably the only difference I noticed. The recovery was slower because I hadn't worked out, and then my body was like deacclimating, I guess, for lack of a better word, to my workouts. But that, it doesn't take long for me to overcome that either. Now, when you work out, like people say, everybody has a different way to work out, the workout that works for them, right? And each workout, it's just like all you're doing is death and rebirth in motion. That's all you're doing. Like, motion is life, but when you're working out, you're doing death and rebirth in motion. And you have all these different, cells dying, your whole, like I went through a whole cellular restructure without working out, and it was different because it's like it improved and not, it didn't really decline. So it's just like I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. And when you work out, like when you're stiff and everything, it's kind of like a stage of like, especially when you do things like weights, when it's like, it's good for movement and it's good for your strength, your power. And my whole thing and what I recommend on workouts is make sure it is conducive to your everyday activities. That's why I like martial arts, because it's like you do all kinds of things in martial arts that is conducive to your everyday activity and longevity, and activities that you will be doing in longevity. And so when you work out and you're on stiff and stuff, that is like basically a living stage of, it's like living rigor mortis. Your body is literally dying, your cells. I mean, to me it's obvious, right? Or like how to, when I'm trying to put it in a way that it changes into something else. It's a little, haven't mastered that part yet. But anyways, it's like a living rigor mortis. It's just like you're alive because you feel the pain, right? And you're just like having trouble kind of performing just basic tasks, or like an injury. It's just like your body is either healing from or scarring over. Either way is a form of healing, right? It just depends on what you're healing from. So when you're healing from just working out, there's no injury or anything like that, you get the rigor mortis, and that's your cells dying, your tissues dying, and all kinds of stuff, and reconstructing itself and rebuilding itself to a better, that's basically spirituality right there. You go through a lot of shit when you're on your path. You just go through a lot, and of deaths and rebirths. And it's kind of like, you go through your mistakes and the stuff that, the mistakes that other people just, they either made or didn't make, or, definitely mistakes that that you will be judged by the external from, but you have to forgive yourself, and none of that shit matters. So, like their opinions, their little comments and judgments, they just simply don't matter. And that's what the healing aspect is about it, because, I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6, because if you, sit up and you, like, live with that rigor mortis, eventually it'll take you out, right? Because motion is life, stagnancy is life. And if you don't heal from it, you don't have motion. You're basically killing yourself. You're basically dying on the inside. And, you have to be your own just, jury, and executioner. Never mind what everybody else is saying, because that is meant to cause you deaths, but in another kind of way. It's not in a way to heal you, even though what they mean for bad, the Most High means for good. So it's kind of like it's a win-win for, you, a lose-lose for them, because they put themselves in. Once you open that door, it swings both ways, right? It's like you open a door, you open certain portals, and you have to know that you leave yourself vulnerable to the same attacks that you're dishing out. Kind of like the law, right? Everything, every action and reaction has an exact and opposite reaction. And thinking faster than I can talk. Sorry, trying to bring it back. So, you know, when you let their reactions to your actions or lack thereof affect your emotion, your action, you're allowing them to kill you. You know, like, and you have to heal. You know, you have to heal from inside, and then externally. Like, none of that stuff will be of any consequence to you. Instead, it will be of a consequence to the people who are trying to affect you internally from the external. And that's how they get the return to senders when they don't return to their own business. You know, when they're here, when they come to you with ill intent and say things towards you with ill intent, it's kind of like, but you also become more sound within yourself, right? So you become an echo chamber, and what they say to you, if you do, when you don't respond, and or when it simply does not affect you, it just reflects back to them. You become that mirror. There was a Marvel character, a lady who turned to diamonds, and you know, everything bounced off her. It was ricochet, right? So they tried shooting her, and you know, all kinds of, all these, you know, teaming up on her, got a whole squad up against her, and you know, all she did was, you know, turn a diamond. That was like, that was the kind of pressure the collective has been under, that we had that power. We just turned to diamonds, and everything just started, you know, returning to sender automatically. We don't need to hit a return to sender. We don't need, there's nothing we need to do. We don't have to say anything to these people. Like, we don't have to do anything to them, say anything to them, you know. And eventually, it's kind of like a kid or like a dog. You let it go, you let it play around you and do stuff, and you know, you leave for a little bit. Maybe it tears up some furniture, and you know, kind of give it a fair warning, don't do that. And then, you know, karma texts that ass, and then, you know, they come back for more until they're all tuckered out and ready to have a conversation like adults, right? So it yeah, it's definitely a way to look at things to help you transmute and keep your movement internal and external. And you know, unfortunately, when they want to come and have the conversation, when they finally realize what they're doing, forgive them for they know not what they do, right? It's like, it's a too little too late situation, and you hold the ball now. That they literally, you know, like, try to deflate the ball, and you know, it slipped out of their hands while they were so busy focused on you, and you ended up, like, you know, corner 3-pointer at the buzzer, and then, you know, game over. You know, focused on one person, the person with the ball. You know, we go ahead and pass that alley-oop to the Most High, and you know, they get dunked. You know, just sends them on home. You know, sends them packing. And that's what's happening energetically, because they tried to cause so much death and stagnation. They tried to cause us to be in this rigor mortis status energetically. That's where they are now. You know, they're going through things and experiencing things that we are already well aware of, and are very knowledgeable as to how to navigate it, the back roads, the back alleys, countryside, you know, surf. However, we need to get over those hills, those waves, those mountains, and what have you. We're already, like, more than adept at navigating spiritually, and now they need that kind of help, right? So we're, you know, and you know, I'm not doing it for money, but you know, I know that, you know, there's about to be payouts. There's about to be, you know, people in court, lawsuits, and things like that. And then, you know, the spiritual business is, you know, it's about to be popping more than normal. It's like there's no more gimmicks, because, you know, they had a phase where they were like pulling on, you know, the Kundalini energy, right, just to energetically self-sufficient, and as above, so below, right? So eventually, when you become energetically self-sufficient, you don't need extra energy from other people. Money is a spell, right? That's one thing. Money is a spell, and it's it's an energy, it's a currency. You exchange your time and energy for money, right? And of course, people will be mad. They'll be wanting to strike when they don't feel like they're getting paid what they're worth. That's a part of the Kundalini awakening. When you start realizing what you're worth and you start demanding that they pay you that, or you just strike out on your own, right? It's not just about standing around holding. You're doing what you're doing spiritually for yourself is you're freeing yourself spiritually, because these corporations are some of them are just legit soul suckers. They just snatch the soul right out of your body in all the worst ways. You can get soul snatched for a rebirth, a reincarnation, or some shit like that. But they just deplete you. They give you some benefits and pay your insurance. Of course they would pay for you they go hand in hand, right? To go to these hospitals so they can keep giving you the prescription medicine, which is another way they bind themselves to you. I had someone say to me, this was a ex-situationship, I like when you're sick because I want to be able to take care of you. And that, to me, sounds like the medical field in a nutshell. I've been enjoying the YouTube commercials finally. Who says that, right? Who does it? I've been enjoying the YouTube ads and commercial because it's just they got, they have people on here who are giving holistic information. They're giving you information that doesn't require a pill. Living wills, just living well, living good type information, where it's you don't need the doctors per se. You may be able to go to the doctor for advice, but the reason there's a lot of sickness is the medication, the stuff they give you to keep that diode on you, right? To keep that energetic filter on you, so that you don't produce so much energy that you're able to be doing it for yourself, and that you're not even motivated to do it for yourself, right? And take care of yourself and be completely self-sufficient. It's not that you're tired, you're just not motivated, because they keep you at a cup half empty type situation. It takes away. It's you're not anything without us. So that's how they keep you minded. They keep you in the hours they put you on. Stop your opportunities from making money elsewhere. On top of that, not necessarily stop it, but it makes it a lot more difficult. And then you find yourself working 7 days a week. Not because you like what you do or that you want to. It's just that I need the money. And that's how it drains you from your purpose, which is usually what you got into the field for, whatever field that might be. And of course, they put all this shiny shit in your face, and you absolutely need this. You need this $20,000 plexiglass table, or whatever the fuck they're doing to make it pretty. If you got the energy for that, the currency, and it's not gonna hurt you, then okay, cool. Then you're not really, it's not much from your energy base, right? And I can't even say that's real energy. It's more of a drainage, because the more you learn, the less you know, and the less you have, the more you own, right? And the more of your soul you own. My whole thing is, my life, I geared it towards travel and just enjoying life, living the experiences, enjoying the experiences. That's what I care about. That's what I work for, is the experience. But in order to have certain experiences, right, or be comfortable in certain experiences, you need shelter, of course. Basic necessities is what they would deny us if they weren't binded to us, right? And they try to make it very difficult for us to create that for ourselves, with all this red tape and litigation and paperwork, and these people buying up these big ass lots of land. Just who said you needed to buy land? It's just lawmakers and everything like that. I get that they had to find their place and bind themselves to us somehow. They had to find that tether, and the tether for them was our sacral and our root chakras. It's survival, right? They attach themselves to our womb. that's why they're always talking about population control, like that's going to help us financially. No, these people are just going to keep getting greedier. Whether, I don't care what the population could be, 1,000 of them to one of us, and we will still, somehow end up in a corner of the earth. And I read something funny. It was like a meme or something. It was like, and the Most High, and God said that there be obedient women in all corners of the earth, and then he made the earth round. That was hilarious to me. It was like, oh yes, there is a sense of humor. There is a sense of humor. And I find myself towing the line between with my sarcasm, because I know that the universe sometimes just does not have a sense of humor. And and sometimes I go for it, because that green light is like, at this point you've done the work as far as this aspect. So anything that comes towards you as a resort, you can either accept, transmute. You can do basically what you want to. You could turn the lemons into puree, lemon pound cake, or whatever. If the universe decides to throw lemons at you, shade at you, or joy, peace, happiness at you, the things that are truly priceless in life, right? So you could definitely take those lemons, make a vinaigrette, there's a lot of things you could do with lemons, okay? And that's the beauty of this transmutation ability that the collective has, and that it's very teachable for those who are willing to learn. The thing is that people's minds need to be unblocked from judgments and concern of the judgment of others. It just doesn't make sense to really have a concern about what other people are doing and what they're thinking. And that's but they know that people do, and that's why they do it, because they know that the bots that they put in the system to sit up and call down judgment and think they're bringing you karma, when they're really just accumulating karma for themselves, right? They're not bringing karma at all. It's just like they're more like gnats that are, you just kind of watch them eventually get picked off by the universe, and then there's that. And you just continue to do what you do your ebb and flow, because they like to try to bind you, say, oh, they're doing this because of this. They try to pick you apart and read you. I'm just like, if you would do that much picking apart in your own brain and reading yourself and your own emotions about why you're so pressed about the collective, then you might solve a lot of your own issues. And why the fuck you're doing this? You're going out of your way to do this. You're taking time out of your day to pick at somebody, to try to dissect someone else, and you're not even getting a spiritual payout for it. You never know. You never know. I can't, maybe I spoke too soon on that one. I'm willing to correct myself. I'm willing to eat that one. But it's just like, what are you really getting? But the thing is, the more they come and try to pick us apart, the more they realize that they're learning, because they can't use our stuff against us without learning something, right? Even if they miss their mark, even if they're using it for bad, it's being transmuted into the good. People are awakening. People are starting to see things from more positive, higher vibrational wavelength and frequency, right? And it's causing them, it's forcing a higher frequency all over the planet. That's the whole thing. A lot of these natural disasters are results of a frequency raising. It's wiping a lot of bullshit out. It's wiping the things that are of low frequency. They're wiping it out. Nature is very calculated. It looks like a disaster. It looks like chaos, but what is it? Normal to the spider is chaos to the fly. Our lives look chaotic to them, right? That's why they're always trying to call people on us. That's why they're always stalking and watching us extremely closely and trying to study us so they can pick us apart. But it's organized chaos to us. We're very, we understand the chaos. We may not be strategic in the chaos, but we understand our own shit, and we understand our relationship with the divine. That's why it's so important and so key to have that direct connection to the divine. this point. Like, it's a necessity. It's just like, it's also still a decision. Like, you make the choice. Pick your struggle, right? And some people choose to live in a miserable, or what appears to me a miserable existence of like being stuck and trying to bind themselves to someone, trying to be noted as a savage. Like, I never said that I wanted to be a savage. Like, I'll say what I need to say. I might say something that came off as savage, but it's just like more like fuck off, basically. Like, go back to your own business. Like, I'm not gonna get a return to sender. You need to return to your own business. You need to return to your own life, or whatever you crawled out of. And that's not to be insulting, because if they think so lowly of us, I guess they would have to crawl, right, through some kind of portal. And one thing I am noticing, speaking of portals, is a lot of circular structures. Oh, nice. Slow down for these. So I'm trying to see what birds are in the sky. Falcons. No, they don't move like that. Yeah, a lot of different circular structures and the like. It's like looking somewhat interdimensional. Some of them look like a little tryptophobia, but those are different. And like, there's certain cities and states that if you go across the line, you feel energetically the difference between, it's like wrong side of the tracks type energy. Like, oh no, like, I never want to come here again. I never want to go here again. And it's for a reason, because there has been like heavy spell work, witchcraft, dark magic in that city to keep the mind small. They say great minds talk about ideas, that would be growth and everything. Mediocre minds talk about events, okay, and small minds talk about other people and their business. Know yourself, not someone else's business, right? All I've ever known is, my daddy's work, my father's work, or the Most High's work. Let's not do the gender stuff, right? The Most High's work. That's it. Even when I was out there wilding out, like these, can I blame it on the physical vessel? I can. And for example, I will. I was out there wilding out because I was in my teens and early 20s, and just like, there's these things called emotions, growing up, hormones. There's this thing called fucking trauma, trauma responses, triggers, and there's this thing called a path that you have to figure all that shit out along the way, and obstacles. Nobody said it was going to be an easy journey. They said you'll make it there if you stay with the Most High and you stay the course. Yeah, it's rocky, but it's like, when the collective knows, and if we don't know, now we know, right? And if we don't know now, then the Most High is gonna give us these. He's either gonna nudge us we're either gonna be nudged in the right direction, or like pushed. Kind of like how you wanna like troll somebody who's never been swimming before, and you just push them in the water. I've never done that. Like, don't shoot the messenger though. I've never just push somebody. I'll give them a nudge in the right direction, and if they lead a horse to water, if they don't want to drink, then don't make them, right? Then I don't make them. I just like, okay, I guess we've crossed paths, and we need to separate, because any more communication or any more union between us, we will only stagnate me and drag me back. And that's the lesson we have to learn, because starting out as children, like, we're pure, right? And so once that pure energy has been corrupted, has been dirtied by the world and our environments and the people around us. Sometimes they were playing around. Some of us were kidnapped. Some of us were adopted collective, right? And we mostly really high-key been on our own our entire lives. We were just like kind of kept alive for these people to energy harvest from. And some of them, they followed us on our path, our own individual path, and tried to keep go-karting. So as the more we try to separate, the harder it gets. It's kind of like a rubber band, right? The further away you stretch it, the harder it gets to separate from it until it breaks. That's why cord cutting is so crucial. You got to cut cords and transmute energy for your greatest and highest good, which we transmute the energy into knowledge and teachings. Some, and then there's misogynistic energy. Like I know in my experience, I have some dude or dudes that literally follow me around, especially every time I go to the gym. Like this morning, they're sitting up talking the whole time about me. My whole thing is, if you can yell over everybody else and talk loudly over everybody else, you are not working out. Definitely not working out hard enough. Because if you're working out hard enough, your mind isn't even on somebody else. You are focused on your goal. And different, or they aren't doing it everywhere because they can't now, because people are aware of their antics. They only do it in new places now. And that's subsiding in and of itself. Just like nobody asked. Or they'll have people they'll have people there just already fucking doing it. And it's just weird, creepy people. Like you can't hold a conversation without that. Like that's your life right now. Wow. Okay. And I was talking to a lady at one of my gigs. We had a cool conversation, or I was like just trying to drop what knowledge and wisdom I thought would fit her. I guess advice, like places to heal yourself, because she had a back injury, a bad one, and it had been for years. She'd been misdiagnosed and everything, and I can only imagine the pain that this young lady has been in. She had to be early 20s or something like that. I don't think she made 25 yet, so she's still maturing in the mind. And I was happy to give this advice. And in the background, I got some clown, right, sitting there holding a 4-hour conversation about that shit. It's like, I noticed. It's just like, that's not the person I was going to entertain, though. I made my choice, right? Oh, that's beautiful. I wish I could turn it. There's it looks like stair steps on these mountains. I've never been out this way. I've got to find a different place to put this phone mount. But anyway, I basically, said she has to become a scientist within her own body. We all do, with our own body, and then we can figure out the shit that's wrong with us on the physical, in our own minds. And when you get by yourself, you can figure it out, because when you're by yourself, you can process more information, assess first of all what's going on, self-diagnose, and you know your limits, you know your body, you know your mind, or maybe you don't, but you need to learn your mind. And that's how science is a lot of research. It's a lot of trial and error. Like medicine is not an exact science. And my whole thing is, why would you put something that is a maybe in your body when you can work on the external, right? And if you're gonna do maybes, do it by nature. Don't just because the thing is, you have to find out you are allergic to something in some way, shape, or form, right? And it usually has nothing to do with going into a hospital or going into a doctor's office. You find out before you get there. That's how you end up on the medicine, right? So you can pinpoint what chemical, what aspect of whatever happened, whatever triggered that reaction, and stay away from it, but also figure out how to counteract it. Like they say, snake venom and mixed with some other stuff is the cure for venom, right? They say the cure for a jellyfish thing is peeing on it or something. I don't know. I forget. But I think that's what they said it was at one time, unless that's just some nonsense. And stuff like that. And like certain snake bites require that venom in certain other components. And that's what you have to figure out within since you don't have time, you're just not motivated to do it because it's like, oh, I work so hard. Yeah, somebody else can figure it out for me. It's just like, I think that's where a lot of people make the mistake, is that they're not willing to go within at all. They think somebody else has their body figured out, their mind figured out, and they listen to all these people. Oh, you need medical and blah blah blah. When all your answers, the answers to all your problems, could be holistic, natural, and it is, because nothing on this planet, the Most High put everything on this planet that we need. We actually need the stuff that's here, just like they need the things from this planet to make that medicine, even though some of it is like only partially conducive to our health. And no, I'm no professional doctor. I'm a chef, I'm a bartender, I'm a student of life, and I'm also a teacher, a scholar. So it's just like, I'm a very curious person before anybody tries to go there, right? It's not what we're here for. But this is just the knowledge I'm sharing from my walk of life. I've never really, the only time I've been in the hospital was to give birth to my son, right? Never needed any real medication, except for like once or twice. Major events in my life. The hospital is like definitely like you're on your way out. And I feel like, because there's such a burden in the hospitals of people going in for stuff that they absolutely do not need to be there for. It's just like, what are you doing, to the system? Don't be a problem to the system. If it can be fixed, it can be fixed by a phone call. They have doctors that charge you for a phone call, and you can get that diagnosis. Now, if they want to call you in for blood and all that stuff, that's your call. But a lot of stuff I've seen these hospitals from taking other people to the hospital, right? That requested to go, of course. And, it's people in there that do not need to. And I know it's probably going to bring some heat to me, but whatever. They don't need to fucking be there. It's like an easily resolved problem, and it causes more of a burden on the staff than needs to be. Like, really and truly. And those are the type of people that create like a high, and it's due to ignorance as well, and then some of it's due to, oh, I just wanted attention today. Like, what the fuck? And that creates a sense of a level of hypochondriac in themselves and in others around them. Because if you're knowledge really is power, and if you are ignorant to yourself and what you need internally, that leaves other people ignorant to what you need internally, and it's kind of like a follow suit type of situation that ensues. It's just like, especially as like the matriarchs and patriarchs of the family, right, or the wannabes, they instill this fear, like, oh, if you don't do this, then it's gonna be bad for you, and that might be the remedy for you, like these superstitions and stuff like that. I have my superstitions, but it has nothing to do with health. And the step on a crack, break your mama's back. How many cracks there are in the road, running trails, and all this other stuff. You're bound to step on a crack at some point in time. How many broken backs do we have out here? So, or some, maybe it was a bad example, but anyway, and then that level of hypochondriac does nothing to create unnecessary stress, and then therefore creates unnecessary sickness, completely avoidable sickness, as you just went within your own mind. You've done the research, and you calmed yourself. You found your peace. You find your center, and you find your energy center, and then you transfer that energy into healing yourself. I guess I'll leave it at that. I have a lot more to say. Hopefully somebody learned something from it. Hopefully it made sense, and hopefully it wasn't all over the place. But if it was, then either way, I hope you got something from it, right? Everyone, take care of yourself. Remember to drink your water, mind your business, take care of each other. If you can't, take care of each other, then at least care for each other, even if it's from a distance. Love each other. Until next video. video. Love you guys.